We are. Why are they gonna do me like that? Okay. Why they do me? Why? This is always what happened. Ron
Well, I
Tubman
love
is
you, man.
the little brother show of all the ATR shows, and guess what then happened? Bam! They go ahead and they mute me. But again, why they always gotta do me like that? Again, Ron, tell that we say to all y'all, share, 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 share. And again, as always, we got another special guest with us, another special guest. And in the house today, we got Randy Quarterman in the house. Randy Quarterman, he from this side, y'all. He from this side right here. He from this side right here. And so, Randy Quarterman, glad to have you here with us, brother, on Ron Tell That.
Hey, man. Hey, happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And yeah, I'm here representing the Savannah GA, West Side.
That's right. That's right. Bam. Y'all heard that right. You heard that right. Julius
West
Hall,
Side.
you don't get no credit for this. Julius Hall, you don't get no credit for none of this right here. Understand that, Julius Hall, because we know how you like to try to do. You try to get our guests on Run Tell That because we have the finest and the best. Out of all the ATR shows, the All Black Media shows, we have the finest and the best. Bam. And then they go to other shows. So, brother, we got to do it like this. Who are you? Who are you?
Oh, man, who am I? I'm Randy Quarterman. I'm the 5th generation of Zeke Quarterman, the enslaved. I'm here from Savannah, Georgia, Monteith to be exact, going back to the Drakeys, the Colebrook plantation. He was back from Liberty County. He was sold from Liberty County. I'm the product of that guy. And that's my father's side. My mother's side, I'm from Japan. I'm from Okinawa, Japan. The Shimoji family, which Reiki Shimoji was the pine tree agriculture guy back in the 1600s that went to Miyako Island.
Okay, powerful, powerful. Yes, sir.
Also, on top of that, I'm a 20-year veteran, 4 times combat tour guide. Served, went here to school, Mercer and Groves. So that's who I am.
I'm gonna let you know, Randy. I was frozen for a second. Some things you ain't had to bring up, but you went there on that. You went there on that. So, but again, some things you ain't had to say. But we're gonna move on.
Hey, let's do it.
We're gonna get a little deep in this because you know how we do in our community. We're gonna talk say, who your people? Who your people? So throw it on out there. Who your people?
Oh, my people here is Quarterman family, the Watson family. Mr. Leon Watson, he was a DJ back in the early 50s. That's my granduncle. He's in the Hall of Fame in the disc jockey area of Savannah. The Maison family, that's from High Springs, Florida. So, but West Savannah, Carver Village, that's where my family was at, Monty, Carver Village, and here.
All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we throw something out there to you. Who inspires you or what inspires you?
Oh, what inspires me? Man, that's deep, man. The universal God. My family inspires me. Righteousness inspires me.
Okay.
That's the 3 things that inspires me every day to move on.
All right. We got it. So now we're going to throw this out at you. What song or song give you that that when you hear like it hits you? What song?
Do you really want me to go there?
Yeah,
Let's go.
that's what this is about. That I said, yeah, we
Yeah,
want you to go there because that's what this
okay,
is
let's
about.
go there. Some of the old heads will really know. I'm an oldies guy all the way. So I'm about 60s, 70s, and some 80s. I do some hip hop, but really I'm about my consciousness. So the first one is the OJ's How Time Flies.
Mm, mm,
You know,
okay.
that was on the album of Ships Ahoy, right? That
Ooh.
nobody hardly talk about that album, but that was a deep album. And
Okay.
I can't leave out Marvin Gaye, What's Happening, Brother. You know, what's going on is good, but then What's Happening, Brother
Mm,
is the hit. And then the undisputed truth, you make your own heaven and hell on earth.
okay. Y'all hearing it. And so now what's gonna happen, Brother Randy? There's gonna be folks out there. They're gonna be getting some of this right here, and they're gonna start checking it out themselves. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, those are
And
good songs, man. Willie Hutch, um,
oh,
Mayfield, Curtis Mayfield. I mean, those guys are the ones that really reach out to me, that actually takes me on my journey.
okay, okay. Y'all heard it. Y'all got that. Brother Randy Quarterman in the house here on Run Tell That. Again, we said all y'all share, share, share. Reverend Betty Jones, glad to have you here with us. Always glad to have one of our great supporters for Run Tell That and all the Our Black Media shows. So now, my brother, I go and ask you this question here. What is family legacy or heritage to you? What is family legacy or family heritage to you?
Oh, the legacy, and heritage that they leave behind that I could build on. Um, Unfortunately, like, I'm not unfortunately, but I'm fortunate that Zeke was able to leave 10 acres of land, even though I'm fighting heirs property case. Heritage to me that I stand on, that I see him on my shoulders, even doing the work that I'm doing today. If he didn't reach out to me, we walked that land that he was on, that he suffered through,
Mm,
that he had to feel oppression for, sorrow for, happiness for. If that wasn't there, this Randy Quarterman right here won't be here today.
did y'all just hear? Did y'all just hear? And that's why we're saying share, 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 because this is relevant to many of us in coastal Georgia, coastal South Carolina, northeastern Florida, southeastern North Carolina. But guess what? Throughout this entire country, that is relevant what he's
Yes,
saying. And then here go the deal. He talked about walking upon soil that come from his ancestors, walking upon soil tied to his ancestors. Some of us can talk about that, and more of us can talk about it, and more of us should talk about it. And that's why we got Brother Randy Quarterman on here right now on Ron Tell That, because we walk around here, we walk in these places that were tied to your ancestors, that is a part of our acknowledgement of who they are. Because as he just said, if it wasn't for him, he would not be who he is today. Powerful statement, powerful statement. And so that's why
yes,
he's here.
sir.
And I'll just throw a little side note. We had the benefit to go out to Drake's back in April. And so again, when he shared that, he was like saying, you were thinking about your ancestors right here in this area, in this soil, in this sacred soil. All the soil that where we are is sacred soil. And we need to value it and protect it.
Exactly.
And so, my brother, we move to a point.
Okay.
Um, what does reparations mean to you? What does reparations mean to you? What does reparations mean to you?
Oh, mean to me,
Yeah. Mhm.
reparation means, well, first, reparation, right, without the S. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
compensation of work, right? And then we know the reparations is like rebuilding off the war. But when I'm talking about reparation, that is uh, getting everything that's unjust to our people to make it an even playing field.
Mm,
Um, However you calculate that. But we understand that there's bank institutions, insurances that and family legacies. We talking about these guys that's not even listed on Forbes. That's coming from this wealth that needs to equally share that within the Black community of this part of America, West Indies, Brazil, everywhere.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You all heard it. That's what this is about. And so, my brother, I also throw a question out to you, and is what is the Reparations Project? What is the Reparations Project, and what's the purpose of it?
Oh, the reparation project, we created that because we felt like we cannot wait for the government alone. So Sarah Eisner, who is a descendant, five-time descendant, just like I'm a five-time descendant of George Adam Keller, who ended up purchasing Coldbrook and Drakey's plantation back in the 1800s, enslaved my great grandfather. So when she contacted me in 2019 to find out if I was the descendant of that Zeke Quarterman, a lot of things led to the point where we said, hey, let's work together and create the reparation project. We do Black education, where we funding students in Spelman. We have currently like 10, 11 students that we fund there. We give them and on an annual basis in the low or mid five figures. We just in the spring started 14 scholars at UCSB in Santa Barbara, California, under the Black Studies. We have 2 here in Georgia Southern, which I would love to increase, or Savannah State, or reach out to Savannah State, but that's future. But right now we do that. We do Black land preservation, where we give funds to the Pan-African Gullah Geechee, to Miss Teresa White, where she saves land from South Carolina and Georgia and low country Gullah under Luana Graves, where she focuses on Hilton Head. And then we have Black art, where we are getting artifacts from those slavery times or Confederate times and giving it to Black artists to create art with it, where they receive the fundings. So the whites are giving these how you call it, stuff that they accumulated throughout the years, and they just give it to the Black artists and they do whatever.
All right. So now we ask this: who should pay reparations? Who should pay reparation funds or reparation funds?
The federal government, of course, if we talk the United States. But if we talking out of the United States, it should be the United Nations.
Again, we say to all of you, share. And what we share on our day clean journeys, because y'all know what we do. History and culture. That's what we do 24/7, 365, 366 days out of the year. And we do that in our sleep, in our dreams, and all that. And we talk about some of this right here. We talk about how people had mortgages. And now some people been on our journeys. You haven't heard this part, but we now share with people on our journeys that some of those mortgages that were tied to your ancestors were repackaged into bonds that were then sold globally. So Randy Quarterman, what he just said, some of y'all might be like, well, he's on United Nations. Guess what? Wealth was made on your ancestors. And I'm not talking about free labor. I'm talking about your ancestors being human assets.
Yes.
That again, in the United States, but now it is international also. So it is globally. So when he said that, I don't want some of y'all to take that lightly with regard to what he said. It is like taking it to another level. It is public and private that must be addressed with regards to this right here. So yes.
Yeah, and I'm glad you broke that down, because I know I thought that, but like internally within the states, we might focus on a slave owning family, but a lot of their wealth have dissolved, right? Their generational wealth is gone. They might have benefited educationally or something, but that wealth is gone. But the wealth, like you said, these banking institutions that created countries, right? These insurance companies that created this stuff is still thriving to this day right now. lot of this agriculture that we're talking about, none of this would even exist if they didn't steal our people from our land to even exploit this.
You all heard it. And this is what we share, people. That's what we put it out there to folks. Because I had someone just even last month start asking, like, is it around? Is it? I said, brother, it's absolutely around. I said, everything that you see, I said, the institutions are still here. I said that I ain't got to go and say, oh, I need to look at an individual family. The institutions that, again. And so he was like, where are the banks that were right here? I said, they are around because they were basically gobbled up by other banks that are around today. So guess what? It still lingers. The insurance companies are still here. Lloyd's of London still here. And some of y'all know Lloyd's of London, you got athletes and entertainers who are not going to get mega insurance policies if they're not able to basically, if they lose their voices, if they're not able to sing, if they lose a limb or not able to function anymore. So again, check this out. They are still here. And we don't think about that. And that's what we are here for. This is for us to have this conversation, for some of us to wake up when it comes down to, when we talk about reparations, we talk about reparations or reparation, that again, this is what the deal is about. And that's what we say to all y'all, share. Randy Quarterman of the Reparation Project, and they're doing a variety of work, helping the community, helping our locations, and again, locations around the entire country, addressing it right now. And so, my brother, how did you get involved in this? How did you get involved in this? What's your story with regards to this?
Oh man, it dates back to 2019, but really it dates back to, for me, around 2014. So I was stationed in Korea, and in Korea there's not a lot of American channels, and the only American channel you could probably watch is Armed Forces Network, which is a military channel. So there's the propaganda is they're going to let you watch what they want you to watch. So that gave me a lot of space to really get in tune with my own spiritual being, my own third eye, if they call it that, the own universe, like letting it guide me. And it started with Dr. John Henry Clark and listening to him, and Dick Gregory, Martin Luther King and all of them was there already, but actually listening to those guys and understanding what they were saying, like especially with Dr. John Henry Clark, like, hey, you can't understand your history until you understand theirs. So just getting in tune with that and sharing it with my Black brothers and sisters on posts. Like a lot of them didn't even know that there was a Black national anthem, which I ended up learning. Like things like that. They had no idea that this information was out there. And that's where it little started to grow. Like, man, like I'm in tune with this, reading the 120 degree lessons, the spook that sat by the door, the miseducation of the Negro, die nigga die. I mean, I was all over the place. And this wasn't something that somebody gave me. It was that ancestor that was just there giving me the knowledge. And I knew I had that, but coming here to Georgia in 2019 to retire, I didn't know what I was going to do after that. I knew I served, and sometimes the military give you this institutionalism where you serving something higher than yourself. So I was used to that, and coming here, fighting for that heir's property. And then Sarah contacted me. It just kept leading on and on. But before Sarah contacted me, I wanted to know about Savannah's history and my people. So somehow I got led to the website of the Underground Tours, which was Miss Pat Gunn. And I was playing email tag with her to see when I could go on the tour. But during this email tag, Sarah sent me the email about being a descendant of the Quarterman, and she had slave log books. She had the census. So I was like, man, this was like really opening my mind. Like, like who is my people? Who, like you said, who is my people? That's what the door opened to understand, to find out what my family said. Don't ask that. We don't want to talk about that. Those
Okay.
questions started to linger with me, where I wanted to know the history of my family. So when Sarah contacted me, I went to Miss Pat Gunn, like, hey, this lady contacted me. She said, I know the Kellers real good, this, that, third. And then she was like, this is the ancestors on your back. If she wanted reparation, you don't hardly see white women coming up forward to say they want to pay reparations, right? But I thought of, if Zeke was given 10 acres of land, or any African American was given, or blacks were given 10 acres of land, was it for that individual, or was it for that community, right? Of our people that was residing there. I thought of more of the community. So I was like, well, I want to use the land to build something that'll benefit the community, whether it's agriculture. But my thought was more of a community cultural center, or a center that links law, businesses, these contacts I'm getting that'll be at one hub. But when Sarah contacted me, we just grew from there. She had family that sold hundreds of acres and gave the donation to First Salem Baptist Church that's in Port Whitworth. So they had a scholarship fund that only would provide scholarships to whites, to church colleges. So Sarah ended up contacting the First Salem Baptist Church and said, hey, I want to divert some of that money and give it to black students. First Salem wasn't even trying to hear that. They didn't entertain it, nothing, right? So we knew who we was dealing with. So Sarah said, well, you want to start this on our own? We'll just start funding it ourselves, but we're not going to accept no money but from white folks. We're not applying for no grant. We're just going to target white folks that feels the way I do, and we give that money to black folks. So that kind of stood within me, like, okay, that makes sense. There's no point taking money from black people to give it to black people. So getting it from whites to show the whites that, hey, there's this white woman in this class that's giving away money, that's giving money because of she knows where the white supremacy, her heritage is, how she benefited from her white supremacy, all that, and coming up. So we just share our own personal stories to gain that back.
I want you all to understand what is happening right now. You are hearing some historic information right now, some historic information from Randy Quarterman. He just gave you all some history right now. And we say that all of us need to embrace this, what he's been saying, and take that in. Because again, I'm going to say powerful. When I say it's powerful, you better believe it is powerful. This is some powerful information. But he said something else that I was like, I had to get some people go, ooh-wee! He ain't go there like that. He went and drew up Dr. John Henry Clark. I'm like, woo! He went to Dr. Clark. Dr. Clark from Phoenix City, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia. Dr. Clark. Then Randy Quarterman trying to be slick, y'all. He then threw up some other people too. He tried to go Carter G. Woodson in the mix too. But then you said something, brother, that Dr. Clark talks about. But then now I said, I'm going to tell Sister B on him. I'm going to tell Sister B on Randy Quarterman. Because Dr. Clark talks about somebody named Arturo or Arthur Schomburg. The Schomburg Museum in New York, get the repository for African history, African culture here in the United States, right there in New York City, named for Arthur Schomburg, who had worked at the New York Public Library. And Dr. Clark gives the story, brother. He goes and says that he had heard about, he had been around John G. Jackson, the great John G. Jackson, and all of them going to the YMCA and getting all this information and knowledge. And they told him, you need to go see Arthur Schomburg. And so he goes up, and I think he's on the third floor. And he went in there, they said he's on the third floor. And so he goes up to Schomburg and says, I want to know the history of my people. And that's what Schomburg told him, said that what you need to do, you need to study the history of those other people, then come back to me. And so right then and there, he goes on his sojourn to now learn the story of non-African people, their history, and then he's able to come back and he's better able to now assess African history within all this right here. Yo, when Randy Quarterman said that, I said, he's stealing from me right now. He's stealing from Sister V. He's stealing. But hey, no, that shows how we all in sync. That's right. I was like, brother, when you said that, I was like, oh my God. He is a student of Dr. Clark. He had gotten the information. So right there, my brother, I got to give you kudos with regards to that. And to all y'all out there, some of y'all trying to figure out what we just talked about, what I just threw out there about Dr. Clark and Arthur Schomburg, you need to do your due diligence right now. Go and gain that insight and understand and be on the same page as we try to go on with God to run, tell that, and the work that's going on, that's being done by all of us. And you hearing it from Randy Quarterman right now, work that he's doing. And what we're going to do, Miss Producer, because I know how y'all are. I know we the Little Brother Show, and I know what's going to happen. You're going to send me a message saying that we got to take a commercial break. We're going to do the commercial break right now and come back to Brother Randy Quarterman. We said to y'all, share. We're going to come back, Brother Randy, and then we'll be rolling with it. We're going to go to a commercial right now because I don't need no issue with Julius Hall and Javonna Rogers, one of your scholars.
All right. Your mic, brother. Can't hear you. Can you hear me? It's not me.
This peaceful place, this serene glen directly behind me, was the site of one of the most horrendous historical events in American history. They sold 429 of 436 slaves that were offered over a 2-day period. When they started selling the first person, it started to rain. And when they sold the last one, it stopped raining. It had rained torrentially. And they said it was as if God was crying. We are going to save this site for posterity. The city of Savannah is trying to develop it, but it should be kept as a memento and as a memory for what man ought not to do to one another.
All right. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. Because I'm trying to figure out, Reverend Betty Jones, because we do have the clouds. Here the thunder and all that, and the lightning. But then we are back. Run, tell that as we share with folks. This has been a historic moment. We got Brother Randy Quarterman of the Reparations Project here. Again, ancestors going back generations here in Chatham County, but then also got the ties outside of the United States and having a sense of pride. We are back, and thank you, Reverend Betty Jones, for all the information. But then I'm going to say this. I know it's something sinister going on. It's something sinister going on because when it comes to Julius Hall and Giovanna Rogers, they get a little mad with me when we have dynamic and exciting people on Run Tell That, and they try to handle me. Giovanna's always trying to put me in my place, always trying to handle me. And Julius Hall probably told us, hey, we need to cut him off so we can get on the Randy on our show, on the Rabble. That ain't happening. So, yeah. So we are back. We are back. We're gonna continue this right because we said we roll with it. So, Brother Randy, what are the latest works and projects that you all have going on?
All the latest works. Okay, so let me back up. I don't think I explained before. In 2021 and 22, we gave a total amount of $15,000 grant to the Promised Land Farms. We also purchased bulk books from the poet laureate of Alabama, Miss Ashley Jones. We bought a bulk of her poems and distributed to schools in Silicon Valley. So, like over hundreds of books to ensure that her work is being spread across Silicon Valley, where we know the wealth is distributed. Next month, we're looking to provide a $20,000 grant to the Gilead Farms, to Mr. Matthew Rayford, to purchase a tractor trailer in Brunswick, Georgia.
Can I interrupt you right now?
Yeah.
You're going to give Matthew $20,000 for them to get a tractor. That's what you're going to do.
Yes, sir.
Some of y'all know Matthew. Some of y'all know he part of our family. Y'all know from Gitchi Kunda, the right here, Run Tell That. Y'all know that. Don't give Matthew no money until he promises to give me food. Make sure I get food.
Yeah.
I want food. Make sure I get food. Julius Hall, stop telling people Jamal always eat. He always want to eat. Matthew Gilead, brother, Matthew Rayford, brother Matthew, you ain't getting nothing unless Jamal gets some food. August 6th, Jamal gets food.
Jamal gets food. That's it.
Bam. Bam. It's nailed right now. It's nailed, baby. It is nailed right now.
Yeah, Jamal gets food. Miss Tia and Matthew, hear that.
That's right. So check that out. And guess what? And I'm be sending them the show so they can hear that. So understand that, Matthew. You look out for me anyway. But last time you had fixed some food, I said I had one the leftovers, and y'all gave it on out to other people. But I wanted it for myself. But yeah. So yes. So you heard that the work that's being done, and that from what at least from my understanding, is that the work that you provide to, or the support that you provide to Matthew, they will then use that to support other Black farmers.
Yes. I mean, we have an application progress through our website, which is reparationproject.org. Of course, we have board members that review this, extraordinary people. I mean, we have Miss Nadia Owusu, who was 2022 the #1 book that Oprah suggested for her reading book. We have lawyers that from Kilpatrick Townsend, Mr. Michael Tyler on there. You know, great brother, Sarah, amazing. You know, like the people that I'm with, I couldn't ask for better people to work alongside of. Even you and Jazz. I mean, you know, lately, you know, the last couple of months, I mean, the things that we're trying to do in Monteith and the Gullah Geechee Nation corridor down here in Savannah and Georgia, you know, like coming together. Who would I know that first meeting that you had here that I attended, you know, Matthew was sitting right across and didn't even know, you know, this is how it connects. So, I mean, the thing is, when you're doing righteous stuff, the righteous things happen to people that need to happen to.
That's right. And that's what, again, it's the ancestors, it's the Most High, and that's it exactly. The good work of good people bringing it together in the face of all the other odds. But guess what? We are able to see through those problems, underneath those problems, over those problems, and around those problems for us to bring about victory for ourselves and for our ancestors. As you just say, yes. Zeke right there, you are a continuation of Zeke's legacy with regard to that.
Yeah.
And that is powerful.
Yeah, so, man, because the thing is, and you know, I know it's off the question to even really think about. Brother. Yeah, to even really think about where I come from. I came to Savannah when I was 12. I was born in Japan. All I knew was Japanese culture. You know, my father didn't tell me nothing about I was Black. You know, I wasn't around Black folks. None of that. I was around with my Japanese family, with my mother. So my whole culture was Japanese. And to come here at 12, because my father was retiring without my mother, and understanding the Black culture that was there, but not understanding it, if you kind of understand what I mean. Like, yeah. I was just thrown into it. And I never knew the mind of how you being taught to be inferior, right? It's just a small thing as when my grandmother used to tell me, hey, don't you go down left side of that road, the white folks down there. And here I am, a kid knowing no racial boundaries, like, white folks, why white folks? You know, like, those are things that I look back at now and understand that through generations, things are taught without even knowing to teach you to this point. Because I say Groves, but I didn't graduate from Groves. You know, I dropped out at 10th grade because I thought being Black was what NWA said. So here I am in the streets of West Savannah, in the bottom of Yamacraw, selling dope, you know. And the guys used to always tell me, man, you ain't from around here. Why you keep coming around here? My family was there, but they knew I was different. And luckily, you know, like, I didn't go to prison. But when I look back at my class, majority of them in prison or dead. The same guys I hung around. But here I am now in this consciousness. So right. I was brought here for a reason.
That's right.
My family will tell me, like, you the perfect person to deal with Sarah, because we don't know if we could deal with her the way you deal with her. And that's part of me knowing, when I'm talking about getting into my consciousness, when I went to Korea, understanding my Japanese people, how they looked at Koreans is how whites look at Blacks. I remember the racist jokes that Japanese made of Koreans. So I knew how I looked at Koreans. So when I went to Korea and was speaking Japanese to my Japanese folks, they was taken back or angry with me without even knowing me. And that's when I understood that pain.
Yes, right? Yes.
So dealing with Sarah is something that I understand. Like, I don't have a lot of white folk friends, but dealing with Sarah, I understand that there's both lines.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what it's about. It's providing information. You provide some great insight for people to understand about their purposes in their lives. I tell people, you don't have a purpose. You have purposes in your life.
Yes.
So, yes. What's your thoughts on generational wealth? Your thoughts on generational wealth?
Yeah, generational wealth for me is not just about money. It's about how you structure your family in ways to come. Like, I teach my kids about legacy all day. Like, me being a retiree from the military, only thing I knew was the military. So I know I want my kids to go to college. So now we're thinking, hey, well, how can that government benefit us, right? I won't tell them to go enlisted like me. No, I'm going to tell them you're going to go to college, get the college for free from the government, and go officer. Then when you go officer, you might get your kid into a private institution where they go to Yale or whatever to become lawyers and politicians. These are things that we build and that every day I'm talking to my kids about to make sure that we go ahead generation by generation. That's generational wealth to me more than money.
All right. And this is Randy Quarterman of the Reparations Project with us. Again, so that y'all share. Go back and check out the beginning of the show if y'all just not joining us. But again, the Reparation Project. And so, Brother Randy, what are our obligations to our brothers and our sisters? What are our obligations to our brothers and our sisters?
Oh man, that's big for me. For me is using every opportunity that I have, that I encounter, to ensure that I empower my people. And but at the same time, holding them to a standard and integrity. And if they veer off, I would tell them, but I got to take a chance on another brother now, because somebody got to make it right. I look at, and this is going to kind of hit a little hard, like doing this work. I see a lot of work that's being done and talked about, but there's no action done to the lowest level. People are funneling grants within their own class, right? I really don't like that because there's people that really need it. So when we talking other, they might give a story to say, hey, we giving 25,000 to one family, but then they done gained millions of dollars, but only gave out $25,000. Where's the other money at, right? But then they have conferences that pay these people to come speak thousands of dollars, which they should be speaking for free because we tried to uplift our people. But this is the game that I'm seeing, the grant hustle, and I really hate the grant hustle. I'm putting it out there to everybody that deals with me. I'm not here for no grant hustle. I'm not here to hustle nobody. We speak from truth. If we run out of money, we run out of money. It doesn't even matter. At least we help the people that we need help. But we're not here to get any gain from none of this.
Y'all heard it, Randy Quarterman, Reparations Project. And he says something, the grant hustle, because people get grants in, and it's all about hustle. The grant writer to the organization, the entity, the institution, they not get it, and it's all a hustle, and it doesn't benefit the people. Stunning. Just like we had some folks back in April, we shared some information with them, and they're studying warehousing in California and in Chicago, but did not know that there's a warehousing issue here in coastal Georgia.
Exactly.
Done. And it's an institution that's here in Georgia, not aware of it, but they got the monies in California. They're going to California and Chicago. I'm like, wow. Again, that grant hustle. And they then asked me a question like, why do you have warehouses in Savannah, in Chatham County? I said, because of everything that you want. As I told this professor, I said, everything that you want. That's what it is. Everything you desire, you want to buy, but you go to these stores. But you don't even know that, and you're in Atlanta. So, my brother, we now go to this right here. What does empowerment mean to you? What does empowerment mean to you? And how can we empower self? Again, how can we empower self? And what does empowerment mean to you?
Um, Empowerment from an institutional level means something that you gain to give you that ethanol, that actual push, right? Empowerment of self is using that to actually grow within yourself, self first, yourself first, and then materialistically on the outside. Because the thing is, if you don't transcend as a person, growing as a person, I mean, in humanity, in spirituality, in this place we call Earth, if you're not growing to become a better human, empowerment means nothing. You're just going to abuse it over and over and over again until somebody get tired and don't give you that empowerment no more. So the thing is, like, actually trying to grow and empower yourself into this other metaphoric fear, where it's called, with that thing that I was talking about with undisputed truth. You make your heaven here, right here on earth, or you could choose to make your hell here on earth. This is what you want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. 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 And what have been some of the challenges that you have faced, and how have you been able to achieve victory? Again, what has been some of the challenges that you have faced, and how have you been able to achieve victory with regard to that? That's with regard to individual, or with regard to the project work that you're doing right now.
My most difficult is time and space. Right? Time and space, meaning the time of reacting when it's supposed to be reacting, right? So this is what else I learned with white folks, right? And my friend Sarah, right? They take a lead, that lead doesn't stop. That lead is ongoing, like every day. Like they're on it. Like, okay, what can we do tomorrow? What can we do in the 2 hours? It's a follow-up to a follow-up to a follow-up. For us as a people, an email might be sent, but we wait 2-3 days to even respond to it. Or if you got a due out, you might wait 2-3 days after to get the due out, where now we done missed that space to get into, right? So my thing is more of time and space.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's a good thing, because the African proverb sometimes say stay still, right? So it's a double-edged sword, but for me, it's time and space.
Okay. Okay. All right. And what are you proud of regarding your work? What are some of you proud of regarding your work?
What I'm proud of most is what I have become for my family. You know, showing the destruction of what an average Black man was to what I am today. You know, like actually showing them that I succeeded something. You know, I finished something. You know, now I'm doing something bigger than myself for my own people and my family to enrich their name.
Okay. So what advice would you give someone who wants to make this sojourn and go on the same journey that you have now embarked upon? What advice would you give to anyone who's now thinking about, contemplating making that same pathway?
Understand life, right? Trusting the ancestors on your back, really being in tune with it. Taking time to really understand what somebody said to you, what you said, what is aligning within your eyes, and putting that together. I mean, really taking time to really meditate and understand how you're moving around in this earth. That's very important for me. You know, like that's how I would tell somebody, like, just and gain much as knowledge as you can. You don't know it all. You don't know it all. And just because somebody gives you information, you don't have to look at them like they know it all. Take it, because the spirits are giving you information somehow. But if you be ignorant to that, then you're gonna say, "Oh, he think he know everything. I ain't listening to him."
Right.
It ain't that. You know, experience is knowledge first. So we got to start listening to our elder folks again.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Great perspective. Great perspective. Again, being shared by Randy Quarterman of the Reparations Project. He's been on here giving history, giving background with regard to Reparation Project. And so now we come to this right here. How can people get more information about the work that you're doing and the Reparation Project? How can they get more information?
You could get the latest in the detailed message from reparationsproject.org. So it's together, reparations with an S, project.org. We're on social media as Instagram too, on Reparations Project, and on Facebook, Reparations Project.
All right. All right. Yes. And what are some words of inspiration that you like to share and provide to the people who are checking out the show right now?
Oh man, I love Friedrich Nietzsche. He makes me think more deep within myself, and I wrote it down. I'm gonna just read it to you. Every deep thinker is more afraid of being understood than of being misunderstood. So every deep thinker is more afraid of being understood than being misunderstood.
Okay. And what's your thoughts when you hear that? What comes to your mind with regards to that? You just can't put it out there to the people like that. So hit them with it. So that way, yeah.
So I mean, the thing, okay, let's give it. So for me personally, I think a lot. I think within myself a lot, but I'm not afraid of expressing my thoughts. Whether somebody disagrees with it or not, it's mine. It's personally mine. I'm connected to it. So, I mean, the thing is, everyone is entitled to their own individualism. And I don't judge nobody how they feel, what their beliefs are, what their political agenda are. I don't believe it. What I care about most is their actions. So the thing is, you understand people more of their actions than what their thought process is.
All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so we understand there's work that is needed, work that we all can be involved in, and work that's essential to us and to our souls. And as I share with you all that this brother, the work that he's doing is tied to the work of his ancestors who made it possible for him to be here today. And that's all of us. And we must be on that pathway if we want to have healing and have liberation. I say healing and liberation and success, healing and liberation. And it's essential for us to begin to tap into it and not be afraid of it and to embrace it and to go forward. It is a struggle. Life is a struggle. But guess what? With hardship comes ease. Again, with hardship comes ease. And that's what we see, even with regards to a woman carrying a child is with hardship. But later on, that baby is now released. Bam, you have the ease. And so that's with regards to life, and that all of us have these divine purposes in our lives, and we need to go forward with them, and as opposed to being afraid of them, because that's how we make the world a better place. And that's the work that you all do in Reparations Project. You're making the world a better place. Again, one step at a time, one scholar at a time, one project at a time. You're making the world a better place, and those seeds are being planted to create, as we say, Yon Wo Mapok, sacred trees growing. And that's what the work you're doing. We are absolutely ecstatic and glad to have you here on Run Tell That. And so there is a last question I need to ask of you. And we ask that you get it correctly. We ask, we demand, we beseech you that you get it correctly. What is the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia? If you don't know, now I have to go. We're going to modify for all y'all out there right now. Y'all know I ask that question all the time. And if you say you don't know and I can answer it for you, then I'll do it. But I'm coming to you right now. What is the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia?
Tompkins. And this is why I say Tompkins. A lot of my aunts, a lot of the elderly graduated from Tompkins, and without them, I wouldn't be here. And without their knowledge, I wouldn't be here. So I'm going to say Tompkins, West Savannah. I know y'all been saying about Jenkins and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know nothing about that. I either know Tompkins, and I can't claim Groves because I didn't graduate Groves. So I'm going to go with Tompkins. I see your face. I'm good with it.
I'm frozen. I am frozen. I am frozen. I think I just had a heart attack. I think I actually had died, and I just came back. I had. Listen here. Randy Quarterman had killed Jamal. Put it on out. Let it be known. Randy Quarterman killed Jamal. I had just died. I had a heart attack. I had a heart attack, a stroke. I just fell out. I had a diabetes. I just fell on out. Oh my God.
I love it, man.
We ain't even gonna say no more. We're gonna leave that alone. We can't say nothing. So we'll have him back on. But when it comes to that part, we're gonna cut him off and we're gonna put something else up there. We're gonna put this producer, we're gonna put something else on the screen. So this has been Run Tell That. And Brother Randy, we're glad to have you. And we look forward to having you again and looking at the tremendous work that you're doing and the work that you'll be doing that, again, we'll be seeing in this area also with regards to in August when we're down at the Gilliard Farm, down in the Brooklyn community in Brunswick, Georgia, in Glenn County,
Yeah,
Georgia.
come on down, man. Let's do this.
That's right. We're going to be right there. We're going to put the information out there. So, again, we want people to not know what y'all are doing, even greater work that y'all doing. We just put the word out there even more because that's what we do on Run Tell That. Run Tell That, Reparation Project, Randy Quarterman. And how can they contact you again before we sign off? Because I have felt this betrayal that had happened in my soul.
Reparationproject.org. Reparationsproject.org. Please apply. We don't know what could happen. I mean, of course, we vote on it, but please apply if you betterment of the community. Please apply for a grant. Javon, great job.
and what happened? Y'all heard about Promised Land Farm because y'all know we had Uncle Bob on here and Brother Rodney. And so again, and they would receive the benefit from the Reparation Project. So there's real work that's being done. Seeds being planted. That's why right now it's raining. I'm happy about the rain because that means it's raining over in Port Wentworth. That means them crops because I had to go out there and water them crops. And so guess what? We're going to water the crops with you all too with the information that is put out here by Randy Quarterman. Again, going back 5 generations of his family right there in what we know, Monty area of Chatham County, Georgia. Appreciate you, brother. And we say to all y'all, peace and blessings. We see y'all on next week. Run Tell That. Peace. We out of here.
like that.